Hello everybody and welcome to Better Call Sukan, sebuah podcast yang kita membincangkan tentang pelbagai jenis sukan. My name is Arif Daniel, your host for today. As usual, my co-host, what's your name, boy?
Carl.
Hello,
Hi,
Carl.
Arif.
How are you?
Okay, biru semua.
Biru, aku memang pakai baju biru setiap kali kan.
Ya, hari
maybe aku kena tukar
biru.
seluar pun biru Yes. Aku buat laundry dia, aku macam style juga pakai together macam ni.
Kan.
Okay lah.
Alright.
Aku rasa daripada kita sembang berdua ni, nanti orang akan tekan tutup app. So baiklah, hari ni kita nak sembang pasal bukan jenis sukan, tapi aspek daripada segi marketing. Betul tak, Kal? Betul. Aku tak salah
Tak salah.
Okay, Kal, tolong kau introduce. Hari ni kita akan sembang pasal apa, dan teruskan introduce siapa guest kita pada hari ini.
Welcome to the podcast, Aliaa.
Aliaa.
How are you, Aliaa, sister?
Good. I'm good. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Alright, so Aliaa, panggil Aliaa je ke? Atau
Yeah, you can call me just Aliaa. That's
Aliaa,
fine. Yes.
So kita nak sembang pasal sports marketing kan?
Yes.
Yes. Tapi sebelumlah kita nak sembang pasal sports marketing, we want to know your journey into sports.
Journey into sports.
You
Okay,
main
sure.
sukan ke apa ke?
Just
Okay.
sports marketing je.
Alright.
Mana
So it's a bit of an interesting journey, I would say.
Silakan share.
To be very honest, I never pictured it was never a plan. It was never set in stone plan. I was actually, kalau nak a little bit more about myself, when I was younger, I was actually wakil sekolah dulu, swimmer.
Swimmer.
Wakil sekolah cakap. So yes, I was a swimmer, wakil sekolah, and I dabble a little bit into synchronized swimming as well.
Oh, yang menari-menari dalam
yang
pool tu.
menari-menari.
Okay.
Yes. Tough spot, I would say, if you think swimming is hard.
That is tougher lah.
Yes,
Okay.
because you need to stay afloat. There's a lot of agility and everything like
Music.
that, right? And music, rhythm, and being able to...
That was during times sekolah.
Sekolah, yes.
see, okay.
Between when I was 12 to 16.
Okay.
Those were the age that I was being on a slightly competitive side, I would say. Dabble a little bit into bowling as well. But those were school days, right? You needed something to do extracurricular activity anyway. So I then pursued my study in corporate communications.
Okay.
Local graduate in 𝙒𝙊𝘾𝙄𝑼𝑑𝙎. Back then it was known as 𝙒𝙊𝘾𝙄𝑼𝑑𝑎.
Is apa?
Kuala Lumpur Infrastructure University College.
Okay.
And then now known as IUKL. It's a full-fledged university now. And then how I got into sports was very sort of like accidental, I would say. So I was I had like previous experience in Groupon and also Petronas. I was interning there.
Okay.
For a couple of months, and then I furthered my studies, continued my studies in degree, pursued the same course as well, and then I got out. I was working with an influencer marketing agency. And then came an opportunity from a good friend of mine.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you know her. It's Aisyah Rizwan.
Okay, shout out to her.
Okay.
So shout out to her. She's still in sports herself at this point in time. So she presented an opportunity to work with Malaysian Football League at that time, previously known as FMLLP.
FM Malaysian Football Limited Liability
Partnership, yes.
Okay, alright.
Now is the Malaysian Football League, MFL for short. So at that time, it was the first year of privatization.
This
for
was
the
in
league.
2015.
2015.
Okay.
Yeah, about that. So 2015. So it was an interesting time.
Okay.
Because first year of privatization, a lot of transformational stuff happening, right? So interesting time to be in. I had zero knowledge about football.
Okay.
Like I said, I did not play football as a sport when I was a kid. I was into swimming and bowling, right?
So during masa kecil, you were like minat swimming ke, or like you joined just?
Well, I was exposed to. I remember when during my younger days, that time Super League was happening, Liga Malaysia, right?
Okay.
And I was born in KL, but I was raised in Seremban.
Okay.
I live very close to Parujaya as well. So that's where Paro Stadium is. And at that time, my brothers, I have 3 brothers.
Okay.
So they were all into football.
Okay.
Of course, the EPL was already there, but they were also supporting local football.
Okay.
And I remember going to the stadium with them. We would walk to the stadium.
Oh, nice.
That's
Yeah,
how
we would
close
walk like 2
you guys
kilometer
are.
to the stadium.
Oh, 2 kilometer. Ingat close juga.
Yeah, demi the team lah at that time,
I
right?
see.
Yeah, so that was amongst my first exposure to football
Okay.
itself.
Oh.
Yeah, so I remember menang kalah, we were there. So yeah, interesting
Okay.
time. Yes.
Style.
Yeah, and then so when I was with MFL, so back to my exposure in football. So I thought like, hey, I mean, I was a fan myself, right? I was following my brothers and that kind of stuff. And I saw when I was in stadium, right, the one thing that I saw was people gathering together despite their gender, despite their age,
Yes.
race, and everything else. So it unites people.
Betul.
So I think that's where I started falling in love
I see.
with the sport itself, and I see that football really is sort of like the main.
Something lah.
Yeah, it was something, right? Everybody, so you see the crowd, right? And then so that's how accidentally I got into football in the first place, and then followed with sports marketing agencies.
Okay.
So I was with a few sports marketing agencies. One of the most, I would say, the main ones were with Dentsu Sports Malaysia.
Okay.
So at that time, I was working for SEA Games KL 2017.
Oh, okay.
So that's when we were hosts. Malaysia was the host country.
Okay.
And then I proceeded to do it for about 2 years.
Okay.
It was so even though it was in 2017, the planning started way before.
Okay.
So
2016 lah.
yeah,
Okay.
2016 was when the planning already started, and then 2017 was the rollout execution, and then of course there's postmortem and everything like that. And after that, I moved on to another sports marketing agency.
Okay.
Called Prime Sports International.
Okay.
So at that time, I was given the opportunity to even see how SEA Games was being organized in another country.
Oh.
So at that time, I was given the opportunity to go to Philippines in 2019.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so a lot of things were happening there too. I got to see how it was handled in Malaysia, and then compared to how it was organized in Philippines.
Okay.
Of course, the cultural differences as well. In everything that we do and how we organize things. And I would say like Malaysia is doing a great job. I think both countries did a great job in organizing it. And I think after that, aside from doing SEA Games, I was also doing esports.
Okay.
Yeah. So esports at that time was very, very new.
This was in 2018, 19?
2019,
2019,
I would
okay.
say. So 2019 esports was pretty much, I would say, frontlined by publishers.
Okay.
So when I say publishers, it's in the lights of like Konami,
Oh, okay.
etc. Right? So those are the organizers of the competition
Okay.
themselves. And came 2019, 2018, 2019 like that, there's a federation that was formed to represent Asian esports.
Okay.
So they call themselves Asian Esports Federation, AESF.
Okay.
So at that particular time as well, I was instrumental in creating a manual, sort of like, if football has been here for the longest time, right? So we have a manual we refer to.
Correct.
And it's like a thick book
Okay.
of rules and regulation and everything like that. So for esports at that time, it was about to start.
Okay.
And there were a lot of debates about how esports is
Betul.
even like
If it is sport or
sport
not. Yeah.
or not. And let's not get into that. If I were to debate with you also, it would take me 2 hours, right? So it was pretty much an interesting time at that time as well, where we started setting up the foundation. And when we started setting up the foundation, the rules and regulations, surprise, surprise, we always refer to football as well. Because football is the most established sort of like governing. I would say the governing is well thought of.
Okay.
Right, so we had to refer to something. Of course, we referred to other sports as well, but football is sort of like the main reference, and that's how we came about with sort of coming out with the rules and regulation and the basic fundamentals for organisers to refer to. I even organised a regional qualifier
Okay.
in Bangkok at that time. So when I was in sports marketing agencies, I was able to travel a lot.
Okay.
So and I was even working very closely with World Football Summit.
Okay, WSF.
Yeah.
WSF.
Yeah, World Football Summit. So that's where you gather key industry players in one room and they talk about insights.
It was held in Malaysia at one point, kan?
Yes,
Okay.
Malaysia was the hub.
Host. Okay. Hub. Okay.
I would say the Asian hub.
Okay.
That was, and then COVID happened. So I think
2020.
they're working on returning and at this point in time when we are speaking. So I think those are some of the experiences that I had the pleasure and opportunity to dabble into. Yeah.
Macam-macam tu.
Macam-macam, yeah.
Bagus lah.
Yeah.
I want to know a bit more about KL versus Philippines later lah.
Yes.
Later
We
lah.
can get into it. And now, fast forward, I am now the Chief Operating Officer. My most recent role is a Chief Operating Officer at a official Malaysian football app called Shoot.
Shoot. Alright, cool.
Alright.
Itu recently or like dah few years dah?
About 3 years now.
Wow.
Close to 3
3
years.
years. 3 years as
Okay, of
COO.
course, I did not start as right off the bat as a COO.
Okay.
I was first. I came in first to do the marketing.
Okay.
And the advertising portfolio.
Okay.
Because we created an app, obviously there's a lot of collaborations, advertising opportunities and marketing opportunities as well. So the app, what it is essentially is it's a one-stop center for everything about Malaysian football. And this doesn't just go at sort of like the professional competition level.
Okay.
We also include grassroots football.
I see.
We have a dedicated tab for grassroots football as well.
Wow.
Okay.
Pokoknya lah daripada start sampai habis I hope penonton-penonton yang pernah dengar tak adalah loss
Ya, betul. I'm sorry.
Kalau loss rewind balik.
Ya, betul.
Aku macam lost tadi sikit tapi aku tak boleh rewind balik.
Betul.
Tapi I just want to ask you the first question
Sure.
like, dia orang kata semua soalan tak ada yang bagus dan tak bagus.
Tak ada
Semua
yang
soalan
betul yang tak ada.
Soalan ikhlas.
Yeah.
So actually you kata sports marketing kan. Apa sports marketer ni buat actually?
Yeah, good
I'm
question.
a sports marketer. I do
It's an honest
sports marketing. Tapi apa you buat sebenarnya?
Yeah, good
Adakah you
question.
macam post ke? Apa ke?
Okay.
Share to the audience.
Like macam social media ke?
Yeah.
It's, if I may say, it's all encompassing. I would say it comprises of all.
Encompassing tu apa?
Dia semua.
Semua menyeluruh. Menyeluruh,
Secara
right?
menyeluruh.
Secara menyeluruh. So if you see big events, say for
Okay.
example SEA Games.
Okay, SEA Games.
You see, I take example SEA Games lah. You have multiple line of sponsors.
Okay.
Right, you have the platinum sponsors, you have the gold sponsors, and there's a variety of them. There's like 20-30 brands at once
Okay.
sponsoring the event. Who do you think sort of, do the selling, the sponsorship management, and marketing the event itself?
So orang sponsorship? No.
Yes. So okay, imagine if you're in a company.
Okay.
You have the legal department, you have the
Okay.
finance department, you have the branding, advertising, and
Yes.
everything like that. So sports marketer usually sits on the one who actually seeks revenue. So it always ties up to sales, right?
Okay.
And how do you get sales in the first place?
Okay.
You begin to market.
Oh.
Yeah. So that essentially it's like marketing.
Okay.
Tapi you just apply to sports sahaja. So if you see like macam say the product on the desk now is sports.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. It could be swimming, it could be football, it could be hockey, everything like that, right? So the product differentiates. But at the same time, the fundamentals of marketing is pretty much the same. It involves events, PR, social media, digital initiatives, CSR, corporate social responsibility, community engagement. It all falls because marketing, if you want to speak about it, is such a big umbrella.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah. So even in sports marketing,
Yes.
there's still
Yeah.
more divisions.
So basically you buat semua lah. Of like you said all that
Macam buat semua je.
Yeah. I would say I was given the opportunity to basically explore every avenue.
So basically you ada
Yeah.
deal dengan sponsorship, you
Yes.
ada yang promote the people, you
Yes.
ada buat dengan all the everything lah.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Banyak tu.
semua tu adalah sports marketing.
Ya, betul.
Fuyo.
Yeah.
Sebab in the end of the day, macam mana duit nak masuk kat bola sepak ke sukan-sukan?
How do you get funds? You know, so it involves that as well.
Tapi
It
selalu
includes
macam kalau like contohnya lah, kalau like events ke apa, dia ada macam bahagian publicity,
Yep.
dia ada bahagian sales,
Yep.
dia ada bahagian sponsorship, dia
Yep.
ada bahagian marketing.
Yes.
So you tapau semua atas tu sports marketing ke, ataupun you ada that group juga?
Okay,
question.
so fair question. So when like I said, when I was first working with Malaysian Football League, back
Okay.
rewind a bit, I was doing sponsorship management
I see.
specifically.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
what does entails?
So that entails taking care, account servicing. So you service the clients that are involved and investing heavily into football.
Okay.
So at that time, you can see the lights of Telecom Malaysia being the sponsor, right? And you see even way before back then, you know, you had all sort of sponsorships. as
Macam
well.
banks ke apa semua lah.
Banks, you know, even at Football Association Malaysia level, you have Bank Islam, right? You have so many other partners that are in it, and even today in Malaysian Football League, you see Post Malaysia. You know, there's so many other sponsors. In the likes of Unify is still very much in the picture. So we take care of those accounts. So what we do is they invest, right? They sponsor.
Okay.
They sponsor the competition.
X amount ringgit, okay.
Yeah,
Banyak-banyak,
of ringgit, X amount of ringgit. So what do they want at the end of the day?
Okay.
They want to see returns,
Okay. Yeah.
right? It helps achieve their business objective one way or the other.
Okay.
So they use football as the catalyst to do that, right?
Because of the eyeball.
Because of the eyeballs, because of the reach that they're able to get at the end of the day, and that translate into what? Dollars and cents, right?
Technical
Dollars and
sikit ni.
cents. Sorry, dollars and cents pula. Dollars and cents. So yes, so they use football to reach out to their target audience.
Oh yeah. I
Because
see.
football is mass, right? It's
Yes.
mass participation. Everybody loves it. You know, it's such a universal sport. Sports is also universal. You see sometimes orang yang tak ada kena-mengena pun, orang yang tak buat sports tu pun support the sport. Like me, for example, I don't necessarily play football as a professional sport. I'm not on the front line. I'm not an athlete. I work at the back. But at the very bottom of it, deep down, my love and interest for that sport is there. Right? And it begins from where? It begins from my family members who
Yeah,
love.
your
So
brothers,
I
yeah.
mean, it starts from there. I mean, that was my early exposure to sports. Yeah.
Okay. So like you will say that you are a football sports marketer lah.
I would say football is sort of like my
Main one.
main one. Yeah,
So
yeah.
like different sports pun you pernah like
Yes.
SEA Games
Yeah.
tu
SEA
you-
Games is
all
everything,
sports lah.
all sports. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Banyak gila boleh dissect actually.
So now where I am today, I'm more on the product development side. So now I own a product, right?
Okay,
It's an app.
Okay.
It's a form of digital platform.
Okay.
That we offer exclusive content, one-stop center for everything about football Malaysia, football in Malaysia, right? News,
Yeah.
highlights, things like that.
Dia memang like from the start dia memang your evolve and you towards all this keeps growing lah until you are doing a product, you said an app lah.
Yes.
Wow.
So what
Career development, yeah.
Yeah, if you think about it, right, what's the number one thing that is progressing so fast these days?
Okay.
Technology, right?
Yes.
So technology is here for a reason, is to make people's life easier. Right? It's very useful. One way or the other, you will use technology in your life. Your phone is your life.
Yes.
It has everything in it.
Yes.
So like it or not, kita tak boleh ketinggalan.
Nice.
Dari segi teknologi tu kita tak boleh ketinggalan. And I think it's high time that sports in Malaysia also start to use technology as a form of moving forward.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Before kita masuk dalam shoot ni,
Yeah.
we want to know about your previous all, like you kata you join the football league, you
Yes.
join the sukan SEA
Games, yes, yeah.
2019, 20 all that. Can you just let us know the biggest challenges of like bukanlah paling down lah, but the biggest challenge of like throughout your personal.
Yeah.
Sebab maybe ada orang tak tahu pun actually sport marketing ni macam mana kan.
Yeah.
And also the
Let's say
highest
client dia,
achievement, the kenangan manis lah. Then like maybe you can share a bit like from
challenges and the most rewarding
Yes,
moments,
yes.
right? I would say. I think the main challenge is that the sort of like the general perception lah, I would say, right?
towards you or
towards the industry, towards sports as an industry.
I see. Okay.
Okay. The general perception is that it's male dominated.
Okay.
I would say, right?
Okay.
I mean, you see majority of them are men.
Yes.
Co-host dua-dua lelaki.
Itulah dua-dua co-host sekarang pun lelaki. Ni
Yes.
female
yang jaga
representation
belakang
lah.
dua-dua perempuan.
Betul. Yes.
kita balance.
I'm very happy to see that actually.
Perempuan Fahana, Syawak,
Yes.
yang jaga kamera ni Lina.
Yes,
Dia
yes.
pergi cuti lagi, pergi cuti last week.
Keep at it, okay?
Anyway, continue.
Yeah. I'm happy to see women representation as well. So I think the general perception is that always is male dominated. So when it's
yeah.
male dominated, you have that like macam fear a bit, like macam, am I doing the right thing? Am I the right person for it?
I see.
You know,
So kiranya self-doubt ke atau orang
I
yang
think it's like sort of like self-doubt. Okay, so like I said, I had zero knowledge about football,
Yes.
right? But you can always learn,
Betul.
especially if you're fast learner.
Okay.
I would like to think that we're fast
Yes.
learners as well, right? So when it comes to that, the general perception is that always that, oh, it's male dominated, it's challenging, it's hard, where do I begin? I don't know anything about the sport itself. But I think a lot of the people think, like also the general perception is that I don't play that sport, so I don't know how it functions. But I think that to me serve as a challenge. So I like to challenge myself. I'm like, okay, if I'm not familiar
with
this particular topic, I would learn about it. And I think the fear, you turn it into an opportunity. Right? The fear, you turn it into an opportunity. So for me, at that time, I was thinking that, hey, there's not a lot of female representation in this industry. So if I were to, that's sort of my drive lah to get into it. If I may say, so at that time I was like, I'm here to prove, not to prove people wrong, but somewhat like that, like to prove people wrong, and also to break the perception that it's not just men in the industry. I mean, of course, we work together with them. I mean, without them, we can't really move forward either, right? But I think the female representation in sports is very important, and I think that what drove me into it, and it's also a challenge.
I see.
I would say, because a lot of the times people macam, she's a she, right? What does she know?
Okay.
You know, to the general perception lah.
Yeah.
Tapi when people start conversing with you, they know that you know your stuff.
Yeah.
You know, then the room will change. You know, then the tone. So everybody else would start to see you as an experienced person yourself.
I see. So like macam that is, I think till today pun orang ada cakap macam tu. It is getting better.
Yes.
The perception, the thinking and everything. But like you said, I said like the biggest challenge. So time tu, are you feeling it till today benda tu, or like there was like at certain point of your working journey tu ada macam that part time yang macam you so
I was struggling with that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say so. Right from the bat, I wasn't struggling with that.
Okay.
I mean, alhamdulillah, when I first went into it, they were everybody was welcoming.
Okay.
So I think in the challenge lies actually in, I wish there's more women that are more, you know, sort of like open to the idea. And I think why we were so closed off to the idea is because of the general perception. So if they see more women representing sports, right, don't matter what sports, then they'll be more inclined to join. And I think platforms like this serves a purpose.
Yes.
Serves that main the particular purpose of to inspire other women to actually get into it.
Be the next Aliaa. Be the next,
Yeah,
Sharina,
I mean, I will become dinosaur myself one day, right? So I need the new generation to take over, right? So it's platform like this. It's because platforms like this exist where we can talk and we can share our experiences that will inspire the next generation.
And to add on that, from what we're hearing, it's also opportunity to get like female brands to be a part of the ecosystem juga.
Yes, because most of the time you think that, if I'm not playing professionally, if I'm not an athlete, then there's no space for me.
Yes, betul.
That's not true. You know,
Banyak lagi ruang, banyak lagi peluang.
Yes, there's that governing side. Like I said, sports is a business.
Yes.
You know, in a business, there's so many other segmentations, so many other sort of like departments you can be in.
Betul.
Right? You can be in advertising, you can be in legal, you can be in finance, so many other things you can go into. Administration, business
Itu
management.
macam ongoing challenge je untuk dia.
Bagus lah. Even as a
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It really is the like world is your oyster,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So macam tu lah juga.
Okay, so now you nak tanya your kenangan manis lah terhadap
Kenangan manis. Banyak.
Okay.
I would say there's so many wonderful moments, but I think one of the ones that I cannot forget, the ones that made me tear up is it was 2015 Malaysia Cup.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it was held in Shah Alam.
Shah Alam, okay.
At that time, Shah Alam Stadium was still can use lah at that time. Sekarang dia under construction, right?
Yeah.
So at that time, I remember there was a full house. It was my first time ever organising a final.
Okay.
Okay, time tu you adalah
I was still in sponsorship management, so I was mainly dealing with the sponsors and making sure they are well taken care of, all the rights and benefits were in place and well utilised, and they get their returns, right? But also aside from that is when you handle an event, you got to make sure it's entertaining.
Yes.
Right? Football is already entertaining by itself, but then there's pre-show and everything like that. So down to the
match,
the match itself, the 90 minutes. But before that, of course, there were many other things that were happening, right? And I remember at that time there was so many planning, sleepless nights with the team, doing all we can at that time to make it happen, right? And come the day itself, once the opening, you see a stadium full of people, 80,000 people there. And that time you immediately get goosebumps because you see things coming into reality, right? And like I said, the power and the beauty of sports is that you see people from so many backgrounds.
Betul.
You see, I mean, little kids. You see grandmothers, grandfathers there, no matter what. They were all there for the same purpose.
Yes.
And that's why I say sports unite, right? At that time, I felt like this is what I'm meant to do.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, so
Alright.
that's when it starts to click and the love really was like, okay, locked in. You know, because you see it coming to reality. It's always the good thing about, you know, managing events and stuff like that, right? You get to see it coming through. Yeah. And of course, you know, after that, having my the sponsors also being happy, you know, you got to make sure you do your number one job first. But at the end of the day, it's the event organisation part also, and marketing the final as well. Yeah.
I mean, like, well, obviously, this does help bila the team bagus. Obviously, it helps bila
It
the
was
final.
a small team, a relatively small team. I think at that time, because it's the first year of privatisation, we only had like 20 of us, I think. You know? Yeah. Of course, we work closely with the clubs involved. So those are our stakeholders.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So and that time was state finals. Or the teams that got in were state teams. Yeah.
So macam gila juga lah, like 20 people jaga 80,000 people.
Yes. So imagine that. But we did it. Yeah. So that's sort of like, and then comes after that more events like that. SEA Games opening ceremony.
Yeah.
You know, you see more involvement from different countries, and then you see Malaysia, you know, having the most gold medals at that time. So it was a proud moment, I would say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like, ada okay, that one that's in football, but did you dabble to other sports during your time?
Yes. So I would say one of the other sports that I dabbled into was esports.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Esports.
Tapi anything close to that achievement?
Anything close to that achievement, meaning in other sports? I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
I mean, not yet.
SEA Games lah.
SEA Games lah, because SEA Games is again banyak sports kan. So of course we didn't. So we have a committee that sort of looked into the governing and the rules and regulation side of things. I was looking more into the commercialization
For SEA Games.
for SEA Games.
Okay, contohnya the SEA Games lah. Because like, are you involved like from opening sampai the end tu semua sampai habis, from before and after semua you guys, ataupun you guys kena pergi to all small stadiums, different types of sports ke?
So for us, we have a team kan.
Yes.
we have a team of people in KL especially. So in my team, there were many of us that are in charge of certain clients or certain brands. So for me, at that time, I was in charge of 2 brands. And then we pecah lah. We divide and conquer. So we divide and conquer, and then we were... So when brands deal with us, there's always one PIC.
I see.
So dedicated account managers to each brand. Okay, so at that time, that's how we sort of like move around lah. Kan? When during SEA Games, obviously we had to station ourselves.
Okay.
We had to camp.
Okay.
So we call it camp lah. Macam kita dulu atlet ada atlet village.
Okay.
Kita pun ada kita
Sports
punya
marketing village.
kita punya pun sports marketing team pun ada village dia orang.
Ada tu. Wow, okay.
So we station ourselves near a hotel in Bukit Jalil because Bukit Jalil was the main venue at that time. So like you say, obviously there are other venues as well. Macam if you
Basikal kena pergi
macam velodrome, you kena pergi nilai. Kan? And
Bola
Bola Shah Alam. And then they were also not to forget para games.
Okay, yes.
Kan? So dia macam-macam lah, ada lah. And ada yang jauh juga, ada yang kat Johor, ada yang dekat different states also happening. So obviously when that happens, kita memang kena divide and conquer lah.
Okay.
It depends on what sort of activation is being run there.
I see.
And we encourage collaborations because in one particular, say for example in SEA Games, you could have 20-30 brands under the same going for the same event, right? So dia jangan work in silo lah. So at the end of the day, we encourage collaboration between brands as well.
I see.
So itu kerja kita. Kita nampak the like macam bits and pieces, right? So we were supposed to connect the dots.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, kena aku brand X lah.
Okay.
Aku brand X. I have 1 million ringgit.
Yeah.
Aku nak pergi buat SEA Games. What are you giving me back in return?
Okay, so that's our job as well.
Okay, how?
So when it comes to certain representation of things, right? So like I said, there's ROI for many things. ROI in terms of eyeballs.
Okay.
So eyeballs, kita tengok bila kita tengok eyeball je, kita ingat kan eyeball je macam tu. Tapi eyeball pun ada value dia.
Okay.
So for example, I give you 1 eyeball equivalent to 3 ringgit media value. Katakanlah. This is the number I main cabut je Jangan datang nervous pula. But yes, so that's sort of like the value that we put on certain activation.
Okay.
Kan itu eyeball baru. And then obviously when it comes to digital ada pula value lain. Masuk paper, newspaper ada snippets, everything like that, value dia lain pula.
I see.
So that's how we come up with the return of investment for whatever X amount of money that is put in on the table and the return.
I'm sure lah dia ada like before you datang, dia orang dah standby dah platinum, gold semua tu. Macam normal events all lah, it's the same lah kot.
It's package, right? It's at the end of the day, it's package and strategically thought of, and it's across the board. Different price tag as well.
Okay. So sekarang lah saya ada brand X dengan ada brand A. Okay. Brand X nak return on investment dia cara duit. Brand A return on investment dia cara maybe social capital ke atau just marketing je.
Yeah.
So which one yang lagi susah nak service? Sorry lah, ini soalan susah tapi macam
I think it's dia macam kalau kita cakap pasal image reputation, right? Image building, brand building and everything like that, that's intangible return.
Okay.
I would say, right? Dia macam dia sort of dia increase your brand value by X amount. Kan? And then comes the actual X dollar in return. Dalam masa I sponsor that particular ni, sales I naik by X percent because I was heavily promoting the product.
Okay.
You know, so that's the difference between. But at the same time, if you do more community engagement, if you were to sort of like champion a cause, for example, like diversity, inclusivity in sports, and then you see the brand value naik.
Yes.
Tak semestinya product you sell dengan cepat. Betul. Tapi brand value you naik, sentiment you naik. People are people out there, your target audience are connected to you in a different way.
So brand X lagi bagus
and that brings what? That builds what? Loyalty.
Loyalty.
They return to you, right? So that sort of value, it might not be now, but it can be in the future. where they return to you. They keep coming back to you because of the good experiences.
Kita dah boleh nampak lah daripada start sampailah sekarang, she is a very knowledgeable person and she knows what she's doing. And like
Nearly a decade kan?
Yes, I would say
kepada
nearly a decade.
pendengar-pendengar, whoever kat luar sana, penonton, if like there's an opportunity like this,
Yes,
and korang
should
rasa
grab
macam alamak, macam tak tahu macam mana kan, you can always like
can come
try
to
to
yeah, you can come and talk to me too.
Yeah.
I would love to sort of like
Sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah.
Tapi macam I'm curious macam like how does it take to convince brands to like kata kena like collaborate dengan this organisation because they bring this value.
it's all about synergy.
How do you convince that?
Okay, so for example, right, say you have a competition or an event you want to promote and you need funding from sponsors, right? Say for example, I take if there's a Women Super League lah.
Okay.
For example, the ones organised by
Selangor,
by FAS now, right? Brilliant program, by the way. Brilliant platform.
Itu kena cakap kat Nabil.
Yeah. Nabil, if you're hearing this, I think in that sense, when it comes to synergy, so women's representation in sports or women's football, right? What are the brands that are after the same cause? Say for example, when you play sports, I'm going to go into taboo subject a little bit. Say for example, when you play sports, what are the challenges that all women go through, all the experiences that all women go through?
You know the answer better than us.
I mean,
okay, so apa yang go through adalah the equality tak sama and all that lah.
okay, so that's diversity and inclusivity and everything like that, right? So being treated the same way,
Yes.
right? Or equality in that sense, going after equality. There are brands out there who are championing equality as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Right? So that's the synergy I was talking about. And I think every day women, the same thing that we are facing is that we face monthly cycle.
I see.
Right?
Okay.
So that's let's talk about a taboo subject like period, for example.
I see.
There are many brands who are serving
Yes.
who are selling the same product, like championing the same cause. Say for example, you have a platform where women keep active lifestyle.
Yes.
Okay.
How do they balance that when they go through that cycle? Right? Who can you work with on top of your head?
Okay.
You
Brand
know, then there will
ABC
be
lah.
brand
Okay.
A, B, C, D. So many of them.
Yes. So
They
then
can
you go
work.
approach lah.
Yes, and you go approach them and say like, hey, look, I have
Yeah,
a
we're
number
doing this,
of athletes or
And fans also.
and fans as well, right? At the end of the day, because those are the eyeballs and their friends, their families and their fans.
Okay.
Kan? But at the end of the day, the players
Synergy.
also are what? Your advocates.
Betul?
Wow.
Betul?
Very
They will be
interesting.
the one that will share their experiences with your product or brand. So that's how you put in the emotional sort of connection, a storytelling.
Aku ingat belajar ni because
Yes.
aku nak reverse engineer untuk program kita.
Okay lah.
Great storytelling. I mean, there's all synergy at the end of the day.
betul.
Yeah.
Okay, so kita dah settle that. We want to talk about shoot.
Sure.
So what
Exciting.
orang semua macam okay, dia sembang-sembang ni, tapi ni semua adalah kerja-kerja dia sebelum.
Ya betul.
Betul kan?
Yes, somewhat. But I do
Yeah.
carry it into what I do now as well.
So
yes.
before you bagi tahu you punya role dalam shoot, bagi tahulah kepada pendengar dan also penonton,
Yeah.
what is shoot?
Okay, sure. So shoot, I did touch a little bit
Yes.
just now. So shoot essentially is a mobile app,
Okay.
available on nak promote sikit, available
oh,
on
yeah.
Google Play and also Apple Store.
Okay.
At this point in time, Apple App Store. So essentially what the app is all about is we provide exclusive content and news on a daily basis. So imagine macam ni lah, you tengok EPL. EPL ada app dia sendiri.
Okay. Fantasy football.
Fantasy tu semua lah.
Fantasy apa semua tu, and also they provide news every day, right?
Yes.
So dia bagi
Siapa
like
injured.
news apa benda semua ni, sama lah. Highlights pun you boleh tengok dekat situ.
Yes.
Standing, statistics,
So
players.
everything regarding on football should ada.
Yeah, Malaysian football.
I see.
So we cover on national side, the national team, which is the Harimau Malaya,
okay.
under FAM, and then we have the Liga Malaysia,
Okay.
which is under MFL. You have the Liga Super and then you have the Piala MFL,
Okay.
and then you have the Charity Shield.
Okay.
And then ada macam Piala Malaysia, FA Cup and everything like that. So semua tu. And then I think part of the things that good about this app is that you might not know everything about the clubs that you support.
Okay.
Macam katakanlah you Selangor punya fans, you would know everything about Selangor.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But at the same time, you want to look at other teams.
Yes.
How are they doing?
Negeri Sembilan,
You know, and who are the players? Getting to know the local, the foreign players, and everything like that. So this app is everything. It has club information, player information, there's latest statistics, standing. Semua tu ada. In one single app. So usually kita dulu buat apa? Kita Google.
Yes.
Tak pun kita
social
follow team kita kat social media. Kan? Tapi dekat sini semua ada. One place, one stop center.
And shoot ni dah berapa tahun jadi
In operations?
Yeah.
We're about, so we launched in April 2021.
April 2021 launch.
Yes. About 3 years.
3 tahun dah.
I see. So like
3 years plus.
the app tu, you said all that. Adakah itu start 2021 bila orang dah boleh download that app? Dah ada semua tu atau it grew to like from
Yeah, fair question, yeah.
Okay, so when we first began,
Yes.
when we first launched, all of it was there already. Whatever I just
Okay.
said to you,
Oh,
everything was there.
style.
So how we grew over the years is, of course, the inclusivity of grassroots football. Also, so so because we're a platform, we're a digital platform, so we want to promote inclusivity and diversity as well. So that's when, so if you go into the app, there's like multiple tabs.
Okay.
So the first tab is Liga Malaysia, and then national team, and then followed by grassroots football. So adalah banyak benda you boleh explore dalam single app.
I just curious, macam like you know, macam EPL kan masa time season tak ada kan.
Yeah.
How do you guys keep doing content?
Okay, so of course downtime.
Downtime.
Kan? So Liga Malaysia pun ada downtime dia juga.
Yes.
Tapi bila Liga Malaysia stop, yeah, betul. Yes, that one. Yes. So when there's downtime for Liga Malaysia, national team goes out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right?
Fair.
So there's never sort of like a break, I would say. And even if there's no national team, we always pick up on international news as well, but from a local perspective.
Oh, how so? How?
We get
Curious.
the players' point of view about the EPL, for example, or about the Champions League, or you know, their opinion on World Cup.
Okay.
Example, so yelah, bila World Cup jalan, everything else stops, kan?
Betul.
So that time apa lagi kita nak cakap?
Masa World Cup?
So
Okay.
content, I mean, is never ending. You can always make up something from it at the end of the day. Yeah, so there's never a downtime for football, I would say.
Okay. In terms of like, okay, itu cakap pasal downtime. In terms of peak.
Peak, I would say, during the Liga, during the whole, usually it's 8 to 10 months. Right, the usual period. Of course, there's also the Malaysia Cup, which is the most prestigious cup here.
I see.
So I think peak tu usually at the start of the season where Charity Shield.
Yeah.
Kan, so everybody's excited, you know, or kita tak tahu lagi siapa menang and everything like that. And then towards the middle of the season, there's also FA Cup. Started to so I think the schedule is well thought of already to sort of like, okay, there's no period of like
dips,
I would say. But kalau nak cakap dip tu macam towards the end nantilah, sebab dah tak ada, nanti kita dah tutup, league dah tutup. But also the downtime nanti filled with what? Transfer news, you know, all of that. Players sini pergi sana.
So even transfer news, everything lah
Semua.
dia masuk.
Cover lah. One stop
We cover everything.
Ya, aku tengah try download ni. So kepada listeners and penonton out there, if you nak try to download, you tekan shoot ni, you kena turun bawah sikit sebab I tekan shoot, dia semua game tembak. So turun sikit, baru jumpa. Jangan macam tak ada pun dia ni, dia orang
kalau
cakap
nak ni shoot bola sepak.
Shoot bola sepak Malaysia.
Yes.
So saya tengah download lah basically. Baru nak download lah. So I don't know about the football ni. Alright, sementara kita download tengok ni. So I want to ask you like, your team ni berapa orang, and you said your role was different from one role to another, which you are currently. So macam mana that
transition?
evolve? And your transition.
Okay. So I was doing mainly marketing, right? So that's to encourage acquisition, user acquisition, downloads, average engagement time on the platform and everything like that. The daily active user, monthly active user, all that jargons.
Yes,
right.
betul.
So mainly towards driving the acquisition marketing lah. And then so there's, like I said, there's also, it's a business as a whole. So obviously legalities come into place where you need to sort
Terms
out
and
agreements, terms and conditions and everything like that, because we work with stakeholders as well, right? So we officially work with Malaysian Football League.
Yes.
So they're our partner.
Betul-betul partner.
So without the
That's good.
rights, we can't go on.
Yes.
Right? So of course that's the legal aspects of things. And then you also have the marketing, and then you also have the content, because content is our main business at this point in time. Right? So we have writers, we have a pool of writers, we have a pool of content creators with us as well. So the team consists of that. Also we have finance.
Okay.
So it's tech startup. Essentially what it is a tech startup. Right? We're in the startup game. So startup game, usually kita ada investors to come in and support us financially and everything like that. And I think part of the struggles of having to manage a startup is that to make sure that there's consistent income coming in and consistent support in terms of funding. Right? And where do you get that? It's actually from the investors, private investors, government funding. And there's many avenues
So
to
itu adalah
getting
your
financial aid.
task to go and get that.
So that's how I grew my task into. So
Oh,
before,
okay.
so you were asking like
Yes.
how it progresses, how it evolves, and everything like that. So I started also because it's a startup game. So you have to go into series of funding.
Okay.
So we're at mula-mula kita pre-seed sebelum kita start development cost.
Okay.
So you have a development team. You have a pool of coders behind you, back end people, front end punya orang.
Oh, so
You know?
sebelum dia launch pun you dah make sure all the
Yeah, because you have to set up the foundation. You
How
have to
long
set
was
up the platform.
the setup before the launch?
Before the
actually?
launch, I think there was about 8 to 10 months of
Untuk nak
yeah.
Buat app.
Buat app tu?
Yeah, nak buat app tu.
So you were like daripada scratch lah, from the
From
start.
scratch.
So
From
macam
scratch.
okay guys, kita orang nak buat this app, jom kita brainstorm
Yeah.
together macam mana.
Yes, we were lucky enough to have a good development team with us as well. So they understood the assignment, and we had a good reference as well.
Banyak lah overseas
Yes, sebab macam in the lights of EPL, for example, right? I mean, there's the main reference there. So we got sort of the concept from there, but we localize it lah. Kita kena localize lah ikut kita punya target audience, kan? And then kita kena make sure that user journey is there, how user friendly is the platform, how to navigate it, and that kind of stuff. So that's the whole tech side of things.
Oh.
Gila juga.
Yes. So I was working closely with the development team as well, because we get feedback every day from users. And that's how you improve over time. Doesn't mean your first version of the app is that and all. Tak ada. It's continuous improvement from there on.
Faham?
Yeah. So of course we have bugs and fixes. I mean, what's an app without bugs?
Sama macam content lah
Yes. Yeah. So we face that as well. But we quickly rectify it. When problem come, we quickly rectify it. With technology these days, and a good, reliable team behind you, those
Can go
are all
far lah.
manageable, and you can go far. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Highlights and challenges of shoot.
Highlights and challenges. I think. Okay, so up to today, when as of 2023 now, we've gotten close to 50,000 downloads.
Tambah satu.
Sama satu today.
Sama satu.
Please, you know.
Dah buka app tu.
Kan, boleh navigate kan nanti.
1, 2, 3.
Yes. I see who you picked there as your favorite team.
Yes.
Okay, so when it comes to building such digital platform, right? What are the things that is important is again data. Because we do have a set of data as well of our users. So that's how you improve the product moving forward.
Okay, betul.
Okay, so I think in terms of challenges, achievement, like I said, up to today, we have about close to 50,000 downloads. We have about 10 to 20%. Usually, it ranges about there. So it depends on the peak and low period of the season as well. Sebab dia ada calendar dia kan. So yang tu kita punya what we call monthly active users lah. Macam website juga kita ada visitors, right? Average visitors and everything like that. So I think part of the challenges is to keep up with consumer demand. Keeping up with users demand, because diorang ni today nak ni, the next day nak tu, and then the technology is ever evolving. Now you have AI also coming into the picture, right? So then you pun like, we have to jump into that bandwagon. And then I think another thing is that if you see fantasy being played now, right? That's the gamification part of football. I mean, of course, we want to get into it as well. But in order to do that, we must first understand our audience. Audience dekat sini dengan audience dekat sana tak sama. I mean, basically adalah yang serupa tu. We have similarities, right? And the similarities is that we're crazy about football. Right? But at the end of the day, kita punya income, kita punya all the data sets, the demographics are different. Kan? So kita kena faham kita punya audience sendiri. What takes them? What will encourage them to tune in to us more? And that's, I think, part of the challenge also is the ever evolving needs and wants of the consumers. But I think listening attentively to them is what's going to get you there. Kita jangan dengar tapi tak buat apa-apa. Kita dengar, kita ambil, kita masuk, then we improve. So like you see now, that's a revamped version already.
Oh, this one.
That's
so, the new edited punya style.
Before
semua.
This, it was like
Cara
instead
lain.
of that, it was like macam satu-satu the news macam tu.
I see.
So the navigation also changes over time, according to consumer.
Kena keep.
Kita kena cepat. Kita kena cepat and kita kena fast to react.
Kena cepat dan kena cepat lagi daripada cepat.
Cepat lagi daripada cepat. Yes. Okay.
I see. Okay. So now you cakap tu overall challenge kan. So your personal, like as a COO kan,
Chief Operating Officer
macam mana you kena guide your team?
Okay, so speaking of challenges, right? I think one of the key challenges is also people management
in your team.
In my team and also stakeholders lah. It's semua.
But now you dah CEO, you tak payah nak like you're the, because before this you were the
macam working group.
You kena yang get with all the developers, all the investors and all. So now you lebih dekat atas
strategy. More towards strategy, organizing this and making sure that when it comes to a task for a chief operating officer, right, it's also to maximize productivity and team efficiency. Right? So that's one of your main portfolio actually. So of course you still have to look after your team. You tak boleh lepas tangan. And I'm also not that type. I'm very hands-on. My style is always coaching and mentoring. And it depends. My style of leadership also kita tengok orang tu macam mana. Kalau orang tu independent, I can let go. You know, but kalau they require more guidance, then I will actually sit down and spend more time with him or her. So I think at the end of the day, it's of course people management, because I just don't have my working group. I'm sort of in the middle, and then I have the management. I have my supervisors and my bosses lah. To also sort of work together in harmony with and together with my team. So being in the middle, you get perspective from top, and you get perspective from
the people yang
around you,
the working level as well.
Banyak.
Cakap macam berapa ramai tu actually you kena
semua orang. If I were to get everybody in, there's about maybe 12 to 15 of us. So development team pun yelah tak ramai,
because there's writers and like
so you have writers, designers. So writers, we used to dulu masa awal-awal start kita ada 5 orang macam tu. So and then also from a development team we have about 5 to 6 as well. Development paling penting lah. Because and also the content, because that's what is being maintained every day,
Yes.
sort of, and upgraded every day, kan? And of course, we have the marketing team as well, the one that
yang promote this
promote
app
the app. Yes. And I would say the 50,000 that we have today, because of our partnership with Malaysian Football League as well, they have promoted. That's how we managed to get the 50,000, as well as doing our own marketing.
I see.
Digital marketing nowadays is
Important.
but you always think that kalau buat marketing kena spend duit.
Okay.
Betul tak?
Betul.
Kan, itu selalu come to mind. Tapi sebenarnya kalau you pandai buat content,
Dia efficient.
organically it will grow. I would say that our ni pun, I would say 40% of it is organic.
Wow. I nak cakap dekat like penonton pendengar sana, you don't have to like, you tak payah hard sell pun lah, sebab I say app ni pun like macam interesting so that people can just download
It can sell itself, but
but
at the same time you must you nak hook orang tu.
Yes.
Macam ni kita nak hook orang tu download
betul.
tu. Kita tak boleh hard sell. Hard sell these days don't work.
Yeah.
People are way smarter these days, and they know once something that's hard sell to them,
Yes,
being hard sold to them already, right? So kita selalu soft sell. Kita buat content yang orang boleh relate to when it comes to football. Melekat, you know. My content creator, I give them freedom as well to do, as long as kita tidak melebihi batas, kan?
So now kita nak pergi ke before we go to the last segment,
Yeah.
your hopes and dreams for satu, shoot,
Yeah.
kedua, personally.
Okay. I think for shoot itself, it's exciting times actually. Stay tuned because we will be coming up with something very exciting.
Dia punya dia macam
Very
coming soon.
Coming soon to stay tuned lah. So something very exciting is coming, insyaAllah. And then stay tuned with that, and I promise you won't regret it.
Okay.
Okay.
Phone saya kat belakang.
Yes, coming soon tu. Tengok belakang tu ada apa. So we're going into the digital era these days, right? So we're going to dive deeper into that. Because when you talk about fan engagement, immediately you think, stadium. Tengok kat TV. Tapi orang often forget that social media plays a very digital and social media platform plays a very important role in the before and after as well. So fan engagement includes digital platform. Okay.
Smart.
It will be like a new gen punya form of fan engagement lah. Stay tuned.
That's your hopes for
Yes, that's hope for shoot, and it will grow. Inshallah, it will grow. For personally, I would really love to see more women representative in sports itself, and I think personally I would like to also grow myself into somebody that's even more knowledgeable in the future. I mean, tech is one of it.
Yes.
Alright. But again, I don't know all of it. Right. I still the one thing that I hold on to very dearly is the fact that knowledge is continuous. It's never ending. So even though now I'm very much into tech, in the future I can marry tech with something else. Now it's football. It can be other sports. It can be eventually all sports as well.
So kepada yang kat luar sana yang sports lain pun, you can also refer this and also collab together.
We encourage collaborations because you work so much better together than in silo.
Okay, so like other than this app, do you have like your social medias and all? Like
yes, of course. So Shoot has its own social media. It's called @shoot@my.
@shoot@my.
Okay. So we're on all platforms. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
X.
No, it's not Twitter. Sorry,
X.
It's Twitter /X now.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright, nanti kita akan bagi you a space for you to promote to at the end of the show, which ni. So kita dah kita dah habis dah kita punya session. Thank you to for like that knowledge penuh dengan all that
ilmu.
I mean like it's very interesting today punya session. And
so macam like to anyone, any like local teams out there yang dengar pasal benda ni kan, memang penting lah, because for grassroots teams, you guys need I think all of us needs a marketing brains in a team.
Yeah, and my hopes and dreams is that there will be more platforms as well to discuss such topics. So like I said, you ada orang yang selalu yang you tengok athletes kat depan.
Yeah.
Tapi actually career in sports
Diverse.
It's diverse. It's so
Banyak.
much more than that.
Banyak,
So I think in the future, I hope to see more of this side of the business being talked about as well. The corporate side, right? The business management side of things, where it offers so many other job opportunities. Like when we marry tech and sports, it opens up so many other avenues in terms of economic development, career and job opportunities. So much more. Yeah. And it's all about connecting the dots at the end of the day.
Macam-macam tu.
Okay.
Macam-macam tu.
Dengan itu kita pergi ke segmen yang terakhir.
Okay.
Itu segmen untuk mengenal guest kita.
Ya.
Aliaa cakap dia pernah dengar kita podcast, tak tahulah.
Betul.
So kita bagi chance untuk dia tanya. Kita tanya dia. So Aliaa, kami dan also maybe the listeners nak tahu, penonton-penonton nak tahu, sports club apa yang you minat?
Okay.
Local and international.
Since I work in the industry myself, sebenarnya kena neutral. Tak boleh lah nak menyebelahi siapa-siapa.
Betul.
Tapi kalau since you tanya, janganlah kecam I lepas ni ya. Okay. So since I was born in KL.
Okay.
KL lah.
KL
City, Kuala Lumpur, #Kuala Lumpur sampai mati kan. Tu satu. But I was raised in Negeri Sembilan. I was raised in Seremban. So of course, Hobin Jang Hobin pun I support. So when it comes to international, I'm a forever gunner lah. Since I was 7 years old. So
family lah, sports Arsenal. I see.
So at that time I remember there were like many of them. The main team were Chelsea, Manchester United and Arsenal. Okay. I was supposed to pick. So Manchester United dengan Chelsea masa tu ramai orang. Saya tengok macam Arsenal ni tak ramai, ada 2 orang je dalam team tu yang support my family. So I'm like, I want to go for the underdog.
Okay. Style. Betul, saya pun sama juga. Dalam family saya penuh semua MU fan je.
Macam tu kan.
Selalu macam tu.
Selalu macam tu kan. Mainstream sangat.
Jadi Arsenal kan. Okay, so what sport would you be in? If it wasn't shoot at or football lah, ke macam tak ada sebenarnya?
Tough question actually. I would say that's a tough question. But I think if it wasn't football, or I would possibly look into. There's so many other interesting sports. I can't just pinpoint one. But maybe badminton is something that I will look into. Swimming. And synchronized swimming. I think synchronized swimming in this context as well. I jarang dengar.
Okay.
So if you can get a next guest
about swimming
and
ni pendengar podcast ni, dia dah anticipate soalan kita dah.
Kan kan you tanya I kan. I jawab lah.
So is there any sports that you tak tahu lagi?
Not much information on. Yes, I would like to see
pasal that sports.
Yeah, I would like to see more on the athletic side as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think more sort of like voice on that. Also, I think before
running yang melontar peluru semua tu lah.
Yes, okay. And then archery and sort of stuff, and eventually like stuffs like I think velodrome cycling yang macam
I see.
Kita ada macam-macam sports kan these days. So I think yang baru-baru sports yang baru-baru naik pun
ultimate frisbee semua.
Yes,
okay,
frisbees,
cool.
Everything like that.
Okay, what?
Surfing.
Smart juga.
Surfing ada.
Ada.
Kat Malaysia?
Ada.
Like mewakili Malaysia punya stuff.
Tak sure, tapi kita check.
Okay, nanti
Producer enough.
Yeah. But sports, I would say recently I watched this documentary on Netflix, which is I might not supposed to say that. Okay, dekat the outlet dekat documentary tu is about free diving.
I see.
Free diving.
So free diving yang you terus turun macam tu is very interesting sport. I mean, it's well known at an international level.
Yes,
I'm not sure about how the scene is here in Malaysia.
Di sini ada.
Ada
so
kan?
Ada someone ada bagi tahu to us to contact dengan them. We got the free diver. So tak tahulah nanti kita akan try to get her.
That one is like really tough sport, I think.
Alright.
Every sport is tough.
So kalau ada topik yang you nak tahu dalam Better Call Sukan? You nak kita orang call siapa? Like anything. Pasal sports marketing ke, pasal admin ke, pasal apa ke, pasal even different type of sports ke?
I would say, I think I saw that you invited a lot of from WFS, and also not WSF or WIF, sorry.
Mutiara, Jamie.
Yeah, and then you invited Mutiara. I see that you are equal in the representation of
kita punya producer memang dia memang
dia memang plan betul.
Yes. So I hope that continues.
InsyaAllah.
And I think from a different perspective, like I said, today you invited me from behind the scenes.
Yes.
Right? So I hope there's more people behind the scenes who will come out and share their experiences as well.
So basically they're not more people behind the scenes too. Okay, can. Alright, favorite athlete of all time and favorite coach of all time?
Favorite coach has to be Arsene Wenger lah.
Okay.
You know? Legend. And also favorite athlete Henry.
Okay.
Andre, and I also very recently I am so in awe of this very inspiring young woman, Yusra Madini. He's from Syria. She's from Syria. She made it. So basically, what she did was she swam herself to survival and also the Olympics. So she represented the refugee team at the Olympics. 25 years old, but so inspiring. She basically from a tough country that's facing quite war-torn country, right? From a war-torn country to be where she is now, and basically fled from her own country to go to another country and get coach from Germany to coach her and everything like that. And now she's also the ambassador of United Nations.
Wow.
So I think at such young age to be able to go through that sort of adversity and come out and represent a large community is very inspiring and powerful.
Cool.
Power.
Yeah.
Alright.
Read more about her. You can.
Sure. Apa nama dia again?
Yusra Madini. Madini or Madini?
Okay.
Madini, I think.
Madini.
Yeah.
Alright. Favorite fictional character of all time?
Fictional character.
From sporting movies.
So many though. So many.
Kalau boleh pilih lah.
Kalau boleh pilih, of course Rocky comes to
Alright.
top of my mind lah. But of course Brad Pitt in Moneyball as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Recently I watched Ballers.
I see. Yes.
So that's Dwayne
Wilson.
Dwayne Rock Johnson.
Okay, sorry.
The Rock. Sorry. So that one also quite an interesting fictional character. So those are the couples that couple of them that I could list. Yeah.
Alright. The quotes or saying that keeps in you that you
that
simpan,
that I hold dearly too. I think hard work without talent without hard work is nothing.
Wow.
And that resonates to me very much because you have to work hard everywhere you go, right? I mean, yes, you have talent, you're gifted and everything like that, but without hard work, it won't go very far, I would say. And I think in the midst of all that, working very hard is very important for you to stay hungry and stay humble. I think staying humble is very important.
Okay, sebelum kita bagi space for you to promote the app or promote all that, I nak you bagi kalau like advice or kata-kata to like people out there yang macam listening to you, macam maybe they're in awe or whatever, macam wow, that is like so like they want to start something ke or like they're
Okay. I think if you tergerak hati tu kan, ada niat tu, go after it. Don't be afraid.
I see.
Because most often than not, you think it's uncharted waters.
Okay.
You macam uncharted water, tak nak lah, takut lah.
Yes.
So you macam I dah comfortable kat sini, kenapa I nak keluar? Kan? But I think if you have just slight interest towards it, go after it. Because you tak boleh nak, you fikir like macam kalau kita rasa macam benda tu susah lah, tak nak lah. I tak tahulah benda dalam tu. That's what I thought about sports in the beginning. But it changed my perception completely once I'm in it. You can actually do it. You can learn. And I think towards speaking to the future generation that will eventually take over and everything like that, I would very much like them to come forward as well. Don't be afraid to speak up. At the same time, tapi bila kita speak up tu, kita kena pandai juga. Kita tak boleh emotional kan, kita tak boleh terlampau ni, kita kena tahu kita punya batasan juga. We have to remain professional, but I think all of that comes when you are in it. Alright. You kena masuk dulu. Jangan sikit-sikit macam tu. Just go into it, and you will get support. You will get support. You will get enough support. Yes. Okay.
So promote lah. Apa yang you nak promote? You nak promote IG you ke? Promote IG shoot ke?
Okay, my IG is very like but I would say it's like mostly personal stuff. Okay. But if you want to follow me there, go ahead and follow me. It's at Aliaa Azlan.
Okay.
And that's where I sort of like mainly I talk about work, I talk about personal, many other things. It's semua benda lah, and my interests outside of work as well. And also aside from that, of course, please follow Shoot at mine. Show your support towards Malaysian football. Siapa lagi yang nak support kita punya sports kalau bukan kita sendiri? So it's all a cycle.
Download lah.
Download lah Shoot. Sekarang Shoot bola sepak Malaysia.
Shoot bola sepak Malaysia. Jangan tekan shoot je. Boleh je tekan shoot, tapi turun bawah sikit.
Tapi jangan pergi download yang tembak-tembak.
Dia banyak shoot tinggi. So turun bawah sikit, nanti jumpalah.
Yes. Okay.
Alright, is that all?
Yes, that's all.
Alright, thank you very much, Aliaa, for coming today to share this knowledge yang I think sangat bermakna.
Betul.
Because banyak sangat. And I think kalau dia nak sembang lagi, dia ada banyak lagi dia boleh sembang.
Kita boleh buat part 2 nanti.
Boleh. Season 2 boleh.
Tak ada masalah. So everybody, thank you for listening sampai hujung.
Thank you very much.
Please follow Better Call Sukan. Please follow Shoot app. Tolong download. If you want to know more about Malaysian football, saya pun baru download and saya tak sabar nak get to it. And also let us know kalau nak tahu apa-apa more about like this part of sports juga, not just like sukan-sukan, not just athlete, even like marketing. The media, marketing, semua.
Behind the scenes.
If you want to know also, let us know. We can share to you, we can bring them and for them to share their their journey and all.
Please feel free to DM me, and if there's younger crowd out there that would love to get deep into it, you can always talk to me about it as well.
Even if you rasa ada somebody yang patut to be here from your side, you can just also DM Better Call Sukan. Tidak ada masalah. Yes. Alright, with that, thank you everybody. Thank you Aliaa again.
Thank you so much. It's an honor.
My name is �12𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼𝙇𝙎.
I'm Carl.
Aliaa.
And we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Audio Plus.